Yeah, visiting Colombia was one of the most eye-opening things as far as, just showing me what's actually going on the ground and how impactful it is for us to be on this mission together. Well, how was your trip? I know you were just in
Right. Yeah.
Colombia now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I was, yeah. I mean, same thing. Yeah. I mean, I stayed at a farm for a few days. I was at the first farm we worked with, Hector's farm, John's uncle farm. I stayed there for a few days. Exactly. Man, that's the same feeling you get, the hospitality, the way they take care of you. And the ride is pretty rough from the city to the farm. It was like, what, 6 hours? But once you get there and you see the view, whoa. I mean, it was amazing. And the way that actually the farmers take care of you, they stop what they're doing and then they just come to you and they're like, what is it that you need? Are you hungry? Do you need some water? Do you need some food? I mean, you got a farm to take care of. It's a huge farm. And there are like 4 or 5 guys working at the entire farm. I think there were four farmers at that farm, and like, all of these guys stopped. They came over. They were taking care of us. They're bringing us tea, coffee. It was the kind of feeling you get when you go to somebody that like a family member's house. The way they take care of you. That's the kind of feeling I was getting. I was like, man, I'm home. I don't want to leave. And it was even when we were getting out, and she was pretty emotional. Like, I don't want to leave the place. This is beautiful. That's how it is. Yeah, like, and then you feel like, yeah, that's our mission in life. Like make things better for farmers. It puts like everything in perspective, for sure. I mean, you
Right.
should definitely go to one of those farms. Man. We should take you to Colombia next time.
Yeah. When are you
Actually,
going,
my
Yogi?
my two targets are Colombia very soon, but Punjab, man, if you don't want to leave a place, then that has to be Punjab, you know,
Oh
provided
man, I was in
you
Punjab.
don't
Like,
need to
what, like
struggle for a weight.
I was there a few months back, and it was profound how it changes you into, it gave me my roots back. I understood why I am the way I am and why I have all of these ideas of, protecting and providing, that it comes
Mm,
from those sick roots. That was profound. And same thing for Colombia. It was like, just getting to see how people have lived for so long, and now we're bringing technology to move them into the next step. Right. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to do these trips to, Punjab, to Colombia, to just go out and actually see the impact that's being made on the ground. So, I'd love to ask about that, do you feel like you get to meet the farmers enough, or is the plan to actually be on the ground and telling the stories from the ground itself?
So if it was up to me, I'd move to the farm, and I'd work
Yeah,
from the
he's a
farm. But
caveman.
the issue is the time zone and the lack of internet and connectivity. I mean, you feel like you're isolated. You truly are. You can't. You can't get in touch with, you feel like that's the world, that's it. You don't care about the world outside when you're at a farm, right? Like, you don't care about cities or like whatnot. You're focusing on the farm, so it's good. It's a perfect isolation. I think we all need it, but I don't know if permanently I would live in a farm. I mean, I like the city, I like the noise, traffic every now and then, but yeah.
Yeah,
Well, how
I've
do you
been
think
I've been
how do
I've
you
been living on the farm now for about 3 weeks, right? And partially it's
where are you at?
amazing
You're in
because it's completely so, yeah, like this is the reflection from my farm, which is right in front of me.
Mhm.
It's basically a garden that I have set up in
Where
my
are
my
you?
house.
He's growing food there as well. He's
Yeah,
growing
I'm growing
food there.
food in the middle of
Oh,
the Bali
nice.
Mountains. I'm in a place called
Oh,
Seridit
you're in
in North
Bali. Okay,
Bali.
okay, okay.
I'm 2.5 hours away from cities in Bali, on Bali, basically.
Mm.
I'm in the jungle of Bali. But just living here, it's giving me a completely different appreciation for the speed of life that people live. From the city, we're so used to
Absolutely.
that, like, fast, go, go, go life.
Yeah, yeah,
Here, it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
very
yeah.
zen, very chill, everything's
It
slow.
is.
Everywhere you're going to go, you're going to walk. I don't have delivery services to deliver
Yeah.
my food, so I have to go pick things up. I know each one of my
Mhm.
neighbors. I want to get the food garden started. So now I have to literally go find somebody who's a good person who can actually run my stuff forward. Right. At the same time, I'm looking at all of this supply
Including
of,
the neighbor who gives you samosa,
yeah, exactly. Right. And including the neighbors who
including
literally
the
come over and
neighbors.
help, you know, and my neighbor's mom cooks for me because my mom's not here to cook. So it's that way of living,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
that really helps you see what our people are living, right? And the vast majority of
Absolutely.
the world is living. Because
And
when
like
you think about it,
everything tastes
that
better at the farm. Yeah.
why everything tastes better when mom makes it, right? So, even if it's somebody else's mom,
Oh,
it's okay.
haven't had mom food in a while, but yeah, sure.
Grandma used to say, like, towards each ingredient, right? They should write and plus love, right? Because if you
Yes.
don't add that, you just won't cook.
Mm, mm.
I actually cooked for Salah.
Yeah. You're a
You
great
clean
chef.
it up, everything. That's it, done.
What did you cook?
Oh my god, yeah. And Yo has a like a best way
Yeah, a
of
lot
cooking, like
actually.
simple, less ingredients, Mexican, yeah,
And some of the actually
fish. Oh,
Bengali fish curry, kind of like
yeah.
this,
Oh boy, that's like
with mustard oil.
mustard oil,
Amazing.
the smell of
Yeah.
mustard oil.
I actually introduced him mustard oil, and
Yeah,
like,
mustard oil. We never
so
used
different. I'm
mustard oil
like,
for
it's
cooking.
mustard oil, man. It's very
Yeah.
different. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
just
a
getting to
week back, I wanted to send one of our farmer to for a foreign trip, right? Like, he has never stepped out of the country, right?
wow.
If one of the way actually you want to know that how their schedule is based on, then you will appreciate the freedom we all have, right? So I said, like, okay, which country you want to go? I don't know. Okay, I will find for you. What are the things you need? So accordingly I'll find, right? Oh, I don't have passport. Okay. So I applied for passport. And then I said, like, what is the best time you want to go? Um, I'm actually going to harvest the paddy in 2 months. After that, I'm going to put, like um, a groundnut. Okay.
Mm.
And that's just a sapling which will take this. And that is the only window I can go anywhere. Right. Just
Huh.
imagine the schedule they
Yeah.
are. They're based on the nature. I said, like, no, it's okay. Sapling is not an issue. It's like, no, there might be rain. So I got to be here by this. I'm like, after looking at all his constraint, right? I said, like, hey, do you at all want to go? I asked him, like, do you want me to just to give you this money? Right? Then he's like, ideally, yeah. I say, okay, I'll make it simpler for you. You don't
Yeah,
put
there.
sapling. There's another guy who's going to put, and you go. You don't think about this, right? So now he's reluctantly agreed. I said, like, you go anywhere. So I given him option that you want to go to a fancy city, okay, or you want to go to a very nature friendly things. It's like, I'll go to Dubai. I'm like, oh, okay, get to Dubai.
But there's no
Crazy.
vacation in that life. It's a full
There's
time
no
twenty
vacation
four
in that
7.
life. No.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking to Booty, my Balinese brother who owns this farm, and we're like, Booty, let's go to vacation. And he's like, what's vacation? We're like, vacation. He's like, what does the word mean? So we had to explain to him, we had to translate and explain what a vacation is. Now he's laughing and joking about one day going to vacation. But same thing, you ask him, Booty, when are you going? He's like, oh, I just got to plant this. I got to do this. I got to harvest that. I got to da da da. And he's got so many varieties that he thinks vacation is building a house because that's him getting to relax, basically. Right. And
Oh
when you actually
man,
think about
these
it, like a
guys
lot of the
are,
stuff that they need to do is stuff that is just very repetitive, right? It's very repetitive. It's very time consuming or technical, or like we were talking about, it's trade financing. It's things that farmers have no idea how to do.
Yeah.
So there's somebody else that needs to do it.
No.
Simplifying all of that and turning it into a button on their phone, that's magic as far as I'm concerned. And just seeing that as something that we can introduce into a farmer's life, but also the farmers association's life is going to be a huge value add to anybody who participates.
Particularly yesterday, we were discussing a lot about trade financing, right? See the gaps. The local companies, they have a lot of conditions before giving you trade financing, right? So a buyer, what he does, he actually passes on all those tensions, okay, in form of a cost to consumer.
Mhm.
So, oh, you are expecting me to have this, right? Okay. Your food is now 10% costlier. Deal with it. Because he's taking that stress, right? He's arranging the finance. So he's paying 5, 6%, whatever to the financier. So he will add 4% more for taking that stress, right? And your food amazingly become 10% costlier,
Mm.
right? So trade financing, if we sort it out properly, that lot of investment which is currently considered as dead money in our books, right? Which is you are keeping it in savings account. If someone is taking a bit of a risk of financing all the supply chain finance or trade finance, right? And they're earning for the right reason. They're simplifying the trade process, and they're not making the money work like or become a dead money, right? So they're earning. They're not having that false perception that they have enough money. If your money doesn't work, it is not worth,
Mm.
right? So that is a big gap we notice, right? So we're speaking to now a lot of these trade financing company, and eventually individuals will finance. Initially, there might be a bit of a trust issue that you are financing anyone we don't know, right? But through institutional financing, we will try to remove that, and later we bring individuals to actually finance any supply chain, you know, cross border supply chain. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the whole idea.
That's the
So
whole
many
idea.
It's
guys are
epic.
interested right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is really good. I already made a few calls on this, and it's so exciting, so exciting. Everybody is supporting, and hopefully we'll sort this out. There are no, I never knew that that's a big gap, you know. So when I spoke to Salah, that what is the biggest challenge in this, like financing? I'm like, I was thinking packaging, I was thinking like in transportation, supply chain, all those kind of things. But financing was the last item for me,
Last thing to worry
you
about. Yeah.
know. And suddenly, one call with Alex, the guy who's
Yeah.
handling this supply to US and Netherlands, like financing is the first concern. I said, okay, let's make some call to
Mhm.
sort that out first.
Yeah.
Well, that's so. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on like how does it feel to have just amazingly driven souls that when when problems come up like this, it's like, oh, what's the problem? Financing, which is normally the biggest
Yeah.
problem.
That's.
People just show up and go, oh yeah, don't worry, boom, done. It's a different way of
Don't worry about
operating.
it. That's the yeah. That like it's like back in the day, like so it used to be like this. So when you're like taking one step forward, and then you take two steps back, and then you're like, well, we're pointing at the right direction, but we're walking backwards. That's what it used to feel like, like nothing is working out. But now it's like, any issues like we have in the company or whatever it's going through, like I'll call you up, man, this thing is like, like a lot of F words. It's not working out, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, man, don't worry about it. It's just, and next day, oh, it's sorted. Like, it's so much easier this way. Other than like, like it feels like, yeah, man, things are moving a lot faster. Things are actually everybody is coming and working on the same, direction, and they're trying to push the team forward. So that's like a really good feeling. And I hope this doesn't go away. And it excites everybody too. It motivates everyone. Because when you're working on the same thing again and again, it becomes repetitive and people get demotivated pretty easily. Especially when the tasks are pretty boring. Because like Web3 and all this sounds really good when you're putting posts online and stuff. Like it's a really exciting world. But when you're doing the same thing again and again, it's pretty like mundane and it's nerve wracking and you need to be, so that like yoga motivates us all, man. Like that's that's the best thing.
Our biggest motivation is actually when you see that it translates, right?
Mm.
People probably, and it's not their mistake, right? Uh, it is easier to make Sim understand something than a common person, right? Because he's going with a journey,
Well, that's the thing.
Success
Like, what,
stories. That's what we need. Yeah.
just from the vision itself, what I'm seeing is when people understand the simplicity of the vision and see that it's already been executed and that the team has a track record of executing it, people are on board already, right? Because they can see the potential for the change that's already being created on the ground. And then once you start participating and you start being part of the team and start actually actively going on the mission, then the joy that you get of knowing that when you actually get to meet the farmers, meet the Uncle Hectors, when we actually get to meet, it's a whole different level. Like like we were talking about before, it's because of the people that are working on this mission that I want to work on this mission. And if it was a bunch of like annoying people, I wouldn't be here. So, it's amazing that things are happening this fast. Even this, to get it to this point where we're already doing test transactions and getting the process scaled up that's a huge, huge achievement, right? So now, and I know we want to keep this around close, so I'd love some closing thoughts. Just kind of looking forward, what do you see coming down the road, and what excites you about Farmsent?
Ooh. I think what's exciting is what we're working on. It's food. Like we all need food. I mean, seriously, internet, Web3, token, crypto, that's all fine, but like the essentials, nothing will move without food. Like it's the most basic. And the way things are going, I mean, it's logistics, we're going to have issues. Stocking up at supermarkets is also going to have issues. Prices are going to skyrocket. So things that, everybody is going to concern. It's who is our target market? Like who's our target customer? It's everyone. We're focusing on everyone literally who needs food. So it couldn't be anything bigger we could be working on, right? So the motivation comes from food. I mean, we all love food. We all, talk about, restaurants and whatnot, but where is it coming from? Who are the people behind it? Those faces, giving faces to those Michelin star cuisines and whatnot. So that's what drives me. It's farmers, the food. Yeah, it's what's been driving me for the past 5-6 years. And of course, Yoke too. I mean, hearing from him every day in the morning. That drives me too.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps.